In the name of our God, I ask you
On that amazing Willy
to have
Chavarria
mercy upon
show
the people
that just happened for
in our
Fall Winter
country
25. It
who
was
are
one of my
scared now.
personal favorite shows of Paris Fashion Week. The Vatican Catholic moments, that dark, very like culture rich setting really shined through. It gave me the same vibe as the Alexander McQueen Dante show, also being in the cathedral. How Alexander McQueen had the kind of Hispanic, Mexican American representation in the models, the same way Willie does. Except for McQueen's is a little bit more darker and perverse, and obviously a play on Dante's Inferno. Willie's is more of an ode to Chicano culture, Mexican American pride, and just overall inclusivity and representation that I really appreciated. You really get that with the rosaries that the models are holding and the shirt that Willie is wearing. One of the shirts that said "How we love is who we are," and his collab with, or like the show kind of being sponsored by Tinder as well. Willie's whole vibe is focused on love and inclusivity. Was a lot of commentary on the 40s and 50s of Mexican American culture, the greaser era with the way the hair was styled, the thin eyebrows on the women, and also kind of like how their makeup was styled was also very like 90s, like LA. You also see that collab that he had with Adidas, which kind of gave you this like elevated like choir mixed with sportswear. I especially gravitate towards this paragraph from another magazine. The show was entitled Tarantula after a This Mortal Coil song of the same name that left its mark on teenage Chavarria. It's about this gentle creature doing its own thing, yet it's vilified. A tarantula doesn't actually do anything until you provoke it. I thought it was quite appropriate with the way of the world right now. So many innocent people are doing the best they can to live their lives, yet being treated as monsters. When I look at the imagery of the catwalk, you get like a very cohesive experience of Willie's world. He says in an interview with MC Hill from Show Studio, for the Summer 25 show, of how he kind of segments his shows when it comes to planning how people are going to walk.
And like having people come out in categories. And when we're talking about categorizing those looks, it's like, okay, you've got like the workers, and then you've got like the farm workers, and then you've got like the blue collar workers who are in the suits, and then you've got like the kids who are like wearing their football jerseys and stuff. So it did really play into kind of like a segment that maybe does play into the classism of the United States. And I did want to put all of these kind of in the same world to give them equal value, you know?
Yeah.
But I did segment them intentionally so that we could see that these are different types of people.
Which is what you see also in this show as well. Just wanted to take some time and look at the details of the show a little bit closer. And one of my favorite segments was the velvet outerwear. You have different variations of the velvet being used. A more formal pink velvet on a double-breasted suit with peaked lapels. And peaked lapels are for a more semi-formal cocktail attired look. You also have representation of the traditional tailored jacket in Bordeaux, styled with matching pants, and a less formal blue paired with jeans. You also have the Ulster lapel, which is seen on the honey brown, and it is used as a more casual and practical lapel compared to the peaked pointed one on the pink double-breasted coat. We have a beautiful green car coat with tonal dark green leather gloves, and that honey brown two-piece suit with a rose on his sombrero to match the oversized rose boutonniere that's always worn on the left lapel. I definitely have to mention the crop trench coats. These are two of my favorite looks in the show. Maybe a little biased since I used to work at Burberry, and these really reminded me of the Riccardo Tisci era and how he really reinterpreted and pushed the boundaries of what the trench coat could be. I love the proportions and the mix of cultures and how they all came together to really give this like cohesive look. The wash red look with the skirt and raw edges was very nice. I like the white trucker jacket as well. And her wearing the baguette with the red leather gloves also just added this really like sensual touch. Also, the track jacket with the white piping is really cool, and the Carhartt-esque double knee pants to match. What I feel is the most historical segment of the collection really embraced Mexican American pride using flannel. Flannel being the most recognizable piece from Chicano culture, used casually with the zip-up hoodie and also seen as a zoot suit. The significance of the zoot suit dates back to the zoot suit riots that took place in Los Angeles in 1943. Zoot suits express identity, pride, and resistance to discrimination, and it's a way to express masculinity and pride in their culture. The zoot suit was often paired with accessories like chains and leather-soled shoes to make a bold statement, which Chavarria nods at directly. The beginning looks of the show symbolize cultural pride, defiance of oppression, and a form of resistance that you see with the all-black tailoring. Pachuco style is a Mexican-American subculture in the 1930s and 40s, known for its flashy clothing, hairstyles, and speech. What were shown are single and double-breasted blazers and tailored jackets, exaggerated lapels and flat-pointed collars, also a women's pantsuit with a fedora, and a sleek-fitting dress with an imperial collar. The form-fitting black dress with the imperial collar seems like a nod to the healthcare workers of the 40s and 50s. Once again, we see the zoot suits and rosaries, and these are a strong representation of Mexican-American pride. With 63 looks, this show had a lot to digest. In particular, I really love this cholo look and the aura behind the guy's walk. I personally would wear this outfit every single day. The cowboy Americana looks modeled by Lilas was great. He really embodied it with his walk. The Lagerfeld Chanel tops were beautiful in this context, and it was great to see Paloma's curves on the runway. Overall, I think the show was insanely beautiful. When I saw it at work, it like gave me goosebumps, and like it's something that I can watch just over and over again, from J Balvin going in to the first guy singing, the setting, the rosaries, like it was all very beautiful, down to the speech at the end that was given at Trump's inauguration about just like LGBT and trans and
In the name of our
how
God,
people are like scared of what's
I
going
ask you
on in the world right now,
to have
and
mercy
just
upon
like,
the people
I don't know,
in
inclusivity
our
and everyone
country
coming together and being
who are
represented,
scared now.
I thought was a really nice touch. And
There
it
are
wasn't gimmicky, it was
gay,
just like
lesbian, and
really great
transgender
clothes,
children in
great tailoring, great
Democratic,
like
Republican, and
structure.
independent families.
The casting was great, so
Some
I really
who
like
fear
this
for their
show,
lives.
and I think you
And the
should check it
people,
out. Tarantula
the
Show by
people
Willy.
who pick our
And
crops and clean our
yeah,
office buildings, who labor in poultry farms and meat packing plants, who wash the dishes after we eat in restaurants and work the night shifts in hospitals. They may not be citizens or have the proper documentation, but the vast majority of immigrants are not criminals. They pay taxes and are good neighbors. They are faithful members of our churches and mosques, synagogues, wadara, and temples. I ask you to have mercy, Mr. President, on those in our communities whose children fear that their parents will be taken away, and that you help those who are fleeing war zones and persecution in their own lands to find compassion and welcome here. Our God teaches us that we are to be merciful to the stranger, for we were all once strangers in this land.